Listen, in the winding path of life, setbacks and moments of darkness are a part of it as the changing seasons. So just like there is 4 seasons in a year, there's 4 seasons to your life. And you have to come to understand that setbacks and moments of darkness is all part of that. Yet within each of us lies a profound reservoir of strength, a wellspring of spiritual enlightenment and divine guidance that can transform despair into hope and turmoil into tranquility. For the spiritual seekers and believers grappling with shadows, know this: the power to transcend your struggles is yours. I want you to understand that the power is within you. You have to learn to tap into the power that's within. It's innately yours. It's intertwined with your gifts of spiritual enlightenment and God's unwavering support. So as long as you realize that you have God's unwavering support, and as you travel on this path of God consciousness, you come to realize that setbacks is part of it. Understanding that overcoming setbacks is not merely about pushing through, but rather about engaging deeply with our spiritual essence. It is pivotal. Spiritual enlightenment offers us the lens through which we can view our challenges, not as unsurmountable walls, but as stepping stones. These stones pave the way to a heightened consciousness and a deeper connection with the divine. Each obstacle, therefore, becomes an opportunity for growth, guiding us closer to our ultimate purpose and closer to God's vision for our lives. So realize that we are on a journey, and we're taking this journey together. And so you have got to change your mindset. So a lot of what you're going to be learning is to change how you are viewing things so you can tap into the power from within to deal with it. You are on a journey to spiritual enlightenment. You're on a journey of God consciousness. You're on a journey to becoming one with God. That is your ultimate goal, to become one with God, to use all of your spiritual gifts, to use everything that's within you to achieve your purpose in life. God's guidance is a beacon of light in the thick fog of uncertainty. It's manifested through the whispers of our intuition, the sincerity of our meditation, and the wisdom found in sacred texts. To tap into the divine guidance, we must cultivate a spirit of patience, listening more than we speak, and opening our hearts to receive the subtle, often unexpected direction God places in our path. And so as you travel to different levels of consciousness, you find that the answer has been placed in other levels of consciousness. And then that's how you learn to utilize what has already been provided for you. But I want you to understand that a lot of times you need to move in silence. A lot of times we talk too much, and so we're not hearing and getting the proper instructions because we are busy talking. And so it is so important that you realize that divine guidance, when we're getting it, it's in sacred text, but it's also in the conversations that you have with the eternals. It's also passed on verbally, because there's some of these things that could not be written down, so they were taught and handed down from generation to generation, and that's what you end up learning, and then you pass it on from generation to generation. So to tap into this divine guidance, we must cultivate a spirit of patience, listening more than we speak, and opening our hearts to receive the subtle, often unexpected directions that God places in our paths. Now, building resilience is akin to constructing a fortress around our spirit, a fortress that's founded on faith, hope, and love, a fortress that's founded on different elevations of God consciousness and becoming one with Him. This resilience empowers us to withstand the storms of life, not by avoiding them, but by moving through them with grace and fortitude. It's about finding the balance between accepting God's will and understanding our role as co-creators of our destiny, aligning our actions with divine intent. And so we have to line our actions up with divine intent. And so you have to understand that you are a co-author of your life. And so God has a plan for my life. He has a perfect will. But as I become one with Him, I'm able to become a co-author, because by faith, by understanding, and by becoming one with Him, I'm able to transform things that I otherwise wouldn't be able to transform. As I move from different levels of consciousness to be one with God, then I learn how to utilize spiritual powers and gifts that has been put there for me to utilize. The transformation power of spiritual resilience is profound. It's about acknowledging our vulnerabilities, yet choosing to rise above them by harnessing our inner strength and our faith and God consciousness. By becoming one with God, we're able to overcome these things and to transform. This transformation does not occur overnight. It is a journey marked by moments of revelation and periods of reflection, guided by the unwavering light of our spiritual beliefs and practices. And so you have to perfect these spiritual beliefs on this journey. And I say over and over, because I want you to understand it's not a one-time fix-all. This is a journey, but you're not taking this journey alone. The tribe is taking the journey with you, because we're all on a journey to God consciousness. We're all on a journey to enlightenment. We're all on a journey to utilizing our spiritual gifts to the fullest capacity. You have to understand that we all have an inner strength. Inner strength is our spiritual armor. It derives from an unshakable belief in our capacity to overcome, fueled by our trust in divine guidance and our commitment to personal growth. This strength is not something that is stagnated. It evolves and it amplifies with each challenge we face and conquer. Cultivating this strength requires discipline, dedication to our spiritual practices, and a conscious effort to remain connected with our inner self and with God. So remember that we want to always be connected. And so I'm going over this. I'm slowing down how I'm talking about this, because I'm talking about your spiritual resilience. I'm talking about becoming one with God. I'm talking about when we're dealing with setbacks, when we're dealing with depression, when we're dealing with life in general, we have to use all of our gifts that is at our disposal, and we have to tap in to our inner strength, which was put there by God as we become one with Him on this journey to spiritual enlightenment and God consciousness. To those struggling to tap into their inner strength, remember that every soul carries a spark of the divine. That's what I want you to understand. We're becoming one with God. So every soul carries a spark of the divine. Cultivating a relationship with God, knowing that through God consciousness, through prayer and meditation, or to think about or to meditate upon, it can eliminate or illuminate this spark, transforming it into a blazing torch that lights up the darkest corners of our lives. This divine connection reminds us that we are never alone in our struggles, and that God's strength becomes our own. Again, I say to you over and over and over, because I need you to change your mindset, because you are becoming one with God. And to become one with God. Later, we're going to talk about what it means to become one with God, because in these early stages, it's hard for a lot of people to understand what becoming one with God truly means. So I'm going to break that down a little later. Overcoming your setbacks through spiritual enlightenment and God's guidance is a testament to the human spirit's resilience and capacity for transformation. It requires us to lean into faith, to trust in the divine plan, and to view each obstacle as a lesson in disguise. So when I stopped looking at my setbacks as failures and started looking at them, each obstacle, each setback, as a lesson in disguise, my life began to change, because it opened me up to understand that in the different levels of consciousness, God has planted the answer. And so as I become one with God and I navigate through this journey called life, I realize that I'm never alone. It's not a journey that I'm taking alone. So when you change how you are looking at each obstacle and you start to look at it as a lesson in disguise, by doing so, we not only overcome our challenges, but we emerge from them transformed with a deeper understanding of our purpose and a stronger connection to the divine. And that's what we're striving for, is that stronger connection with the divine. Acknowledging the role of divine grace in our lives further fortifies our resilience. Recognize that every trial we encounter is infused with God's grace, designed to elevate us to higher levels of understanding and compassion. This grace is a sacred balm, healing our wounds and reinforcing our faith, reminding us that through God's love, all things are possible. And so we have to realize that we're tapping into God's power, God's strength. He put that little spark on the inside of us, and that spark can grow into a glowing flame that not only lights the way for you, not only lights the way for myself, but it will light the way for others to see, and for them on their journey of God consciousness and spiritual enlightenment. Now, the path to spiritual resilience is one of continuous learning and revelation. So I want you to understand this is a journey that we're taking together, and on this journey, we're going to continuously be learning and continuously getting new revelations. It involves an ongoing dialogue with the divine, an ongoing dialogue with God, an ongoing dialogue that's taking you closer to God's consciousness, an ongoing dialogue that's helping you to elevate from different level of consciousness to another level of consciousness. It requires a commitment to self-exploration and a willingness to surrender our fears and doubts to God. So I don't tell you that I never get scared, because I do, but I instantly know that I have to surrender it with God, transport to a different level of consciousness, seek the answer in that level of consciousness, come back to this level of consciousness with the answer able to solve and resolve my problems. In this process, we discover not only the depth of our own strength, but the boundless nature of God's support and guidance. Remember, we're striving to become one with God. For those walking the path of spiritual seeking, remember that resilience is not a trait we're born with, but a skill honed through experiences and faith. It's nurtured in the quiet moments of prayer, in the reflective practice of remembering where God has brought you from, what He has brought you through, and the communal joy of fellowship with others who share our spiritual quest. That's why this tribe is so important, because we're all on a spiritual quest together. You're not alone. Not only is God never going to leave you alone, but your tribe is always there, striving with you for you to make it to the next level of God consciousness. Finally, we strive to overcome setbacks and depression through our spiritual practices. We must also extend compassion and understanding to ourselves and to others. You're going to make mistakes along the way, but you have to show yourself compassion and others compassion. We don't put each other down. We learn from each other's setbacks. We learn from each other's experiences, and we help each other. When you fall down, I don't condemn you. I reach down and pick you back up, because when I fall, somebody always reach back and help me back up. We have to practice kindness, and we have to offer support, and sharing our stories of resilience can inspire those around us to tap into their spiritual strength. We all have spiritual strengths, so you're being taught to tap into your spiritual strengths. Together, And by our collective faith, we are guided by divine love. We can traverse the most daunting obstacles, emerging not only unscratched, but profoundly transformed. I'm talking about transformation here. In conclusion, the gifts of spiritual enlightenment and God consciousness guidance hold the key to building resilience, overcoming life's setbacks, and harnessing our inner strength. By turning to our faith, by turning to God consciousness, by turning to spiritual enlightenment, remaining steadfast in our spiritual practices, and trusting the divine plan. Remember, God has a plan for your life, and it is to become one with Him. We are always led back to the light, transformed and strengthened by our trials. This spiritual resilience is a beacon for others, amplifying the profound power of faith and the inherent strength of the human spirit, that God has given us a strength. As we become one with Him, we learn to utilize our spiritual gifts. We learn to utilize His power, not our own. Let us continue to embrace our spiritual essence and cultivate resilience, knowing that God's grace and guidance is with us always. We can overcome any obstacle on our journey towards enlightenment. So keep the fire of faith burning. Nurture your connection with the divine, and never forget the transformation power of your spiritual resilience. So I encourage you to take a moment today to reflect on your own journey. I often reflect on my journey. Each and every day I reflect on my journey, and I look at my trials, my setbacks, my disappointments, and I ask, what were you teaching me? Did I learn the lesson? Because I don't want to have to repeat this one over again. And the ways in which my faith has guided me through my challenges, the way my connection to the divine has guided me through my trials and my tribulations. We have to embrace the lessons learned and continue to trust in God's plan, knowing that with resilience we can overcome any obstacle and emerge even stronger on the other side. May our spiritual practices serve as a constant reminder of our inner strength, and may they guide us towards a deeper connection with God. So let us continue to walk this path of resilience, knowing that with faith, hope, love as our foundation, as we continue to God's consciousness, becoming one with God, as we continue on our journey of spiritual enlightenment, learning to use our spiritual gifts, we can withstand any storm and emerge victorious in our spiritual journey. Let us never forget the power of resilience and the blessings it brings into our lives. So keep shining your light. I tell you all the time, that which we seek is seeking us. We are a light that is a beacon that's shining on a dark world. We are leading the way. We are the forerunners. We are showing others how on this journey to spiritual enlightenment, on how once you forge that oneness with God, your life begins to change. Because you not only learn to rely on His power and His strength, you learn how to operate on different levels of consciousness. You learn to go and seek the answer that's seeking you and come back and implement it in your life. You never know who may need it on their own personal journey towards spiritual resilience. Together, let us rise above our struggles and embrace the transformation power of faith, God consciousness, spiritual enlightenment, and resilience in all aspects of our lives. May we continue to spread love, hope, and resilience to those around us, creating a ripple effect that strengthens not only ourselves, but also the world around us. Let us hold fast to our divine connection and trust in God's plan. That's what this journey is all about. Being able to trust in God's plan, knowing that the ultimate goal, the ultimate achievement is to be one with God. I want you to understand, I tell you over and over and over again, it's so important that you guys get this, but this is a spiritual journey of enlightenment. This is a spiritual journey to God's consciousness where we become one with God. But on this spiritual journey, you have spiritual guides like the Eternals that's here to help you. So you can ask questions. We can talk about experiences. We can pass down ancient techniques that has been passed down from generation to generation. We can share those techniques and those practices with you. I need you to understand that all techniques and all practices is not written down. They're passed down from generation to generation. It's other Eternals around the world that you learn these different techniques from. You learn from the elders. You learn from the wise people that is in your tribe that has perfected these practices and these secrets that was handed down from generation to generation. Now, I am an Eternal, but it was passed on to me from many generations that went on before me. And for a while, I didn't want to embrace my spiritual gifts. I didn't want to I was on a journey for a closer relationship with God, but I didn't understand my spiritual gifts in the fullness of, they were given to me, they were embedded to me, that I have a mantle that I have to carry. I was preordained to be an Eternal. So this is something that was handed down from generation to generation to generation. And so I've always been a wisdom and a knowledge seeker, but I've not always been able to operate in the fullness of my gift because I was afraid of my spiritual gifts. I did not fully know how to understand my spiritual gifts. And so my ancestors had to teach me to use my spiritual gifts. They had to be cultivated. The ancestors, those who knew how to use the spiritual gifts, has taught me and has trained me and has equipped me to walk in what I was created to do. And so I need you to understand that we're going to give you readings, we're going to give you material, we're going to give you a lot of things to help you on your spiritual journey, on your spiritual quest, but everything for the sake of the tribe, for the sake of, there are some things that's sacred, that is not written down, but is passed from generation to generation to generation. So a lot of those things is what you will be learning, and as you learn them, you pass them on to your family, to your loved ones, on how to utilize this. So let's understand the tribe as a whole. The tribe as a whole is here to help you operate in your spiritual gifts. The tribe as a whole is here to change the world in which we live, the way it has now become, because it has taught us to hide our spiritual gifts. It has taught us not to operate in the natural gifts that has been put on the inside of us. So we're not tapping into our inner strength. We're not tapping into our inner power. So the tribe helps you to tap into that and to utilize what was put there for you to utilize in the first place. So you no longer are afraid of it. We teach you how to enhance it, how to operate it, and how to actually use your gift. So utilize the tribe for what we are here for. We're here to help you grow in your spiritual gifts. We're here to help you utilize and to effectively use your gift. We're here to help you on your journey to spiritual enlightenment. We're here to help you become one with God, because that is a quest, that is a journey that we all have taken. Again, I can't stress enough that my gifts and everything that is within me was passed down from generation to generation to generation. It's gifted generation, and then it was gifted to me. So most of what is on the inside of you is a gift from God. It's been gifted to you for you to use for the world, to make the world a better place. And so they've taken us away from the natural order of things. And this tribe is getting back to the natural order of things, and we're operating and utilizing our spiritual gifts and our spiritual powers that has been embedded in us for such a time as this. So we're leading the charge. We're leading our tribe and others around that is watching and that's paying attention. We're leading our tribe to operate in their strength, their true inner strength, their spiritual, what they have been given spiritually. Now, I want you to understand, this isn't something that's learned. It isn't something that you went to school for. This is what was put on the inside of you at birth. So we're here to help you tap into your spiritual gifts, not only tap into them, but utilize them to the fullest potential for yourself, for your tribe, and for the world in which we live. We can do the change. Take care of you. I'll see you soon.